New angle.
Do you have a new girlfriend?
Yes.
All right, Dwayne.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Sheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Nefera Tucker is suing her ex-boyfriend's ex-girlfriend, Nia Sykes, for vandalizing her car with a knife.
Order. All rise. This case is 51 and 52 on the count in the matter of Sykes versus Robinson and Tucker versus Sykes. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Well, let everybody stand up here because the gallery can sit down, please. You stand up. I want Tucker versus Sykes. Who is Nefera Tucker? That would be you. Stand over there. And who is Sykes?
Me.
Listen to me. You sit down. You sit down. You sit down. Sykes, over here. You could take your stuff.
Okay.
Okay, because I'm taking these cases in order of the dates that they happened. You're Miss Tucker, and on May 20th, you were at Dwayne's house for a basketball party. Would be you. That's who everybody's fighting over. Maybe. I don't know. Your car was vandalized.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you know Dwayne?
I met him at a concert a few years ago.
Did you date?
For about a year.
From when to when?
2017 to last year, May 20th.
And you also date Dwayne?
Was.
From when to when?
I met him in July 2001.
Yes.
In our relationship, we haven't been dating for over a year now. It ended the day the incident happened between me and Dwayne.
You haven't been dating for a year. So you both stopped dating him at about the same time? You have a new girlfriend? Dwayne?
Yes.
Do you have a new girlfriend?
Yes.
Is that her?
No, that's my daughter.
All right, Dwayne. Where's the new girlfriend?
She's not here.
It is your claim, Miss Tucker, that Miss Sykes vandalized your car on May 20th.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you see her do it?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what time and where you were.
I was at Dwayne's house. It was probably about between 4 and 6, around the time the game starts.
What kind of game?
Basketball game.
Okay, so you were at his house to watch a basketball game?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Warriors finals.
Go ahead.
During that time, I was making children and other family members that were there. And this young lady came over to bring one of his other children.
Do you have a child with him?
Yes, I do.
How many?
One.
How old?
3.5.
Boy or girl?
Girl.
So you were bringing the little girl over to his house?
Yes, I dropped my daughter off.
Okay, and?
So during the time of her dropping off this child, she picked up one of the knives I was chopping stuff up for the tacos with and went outside and went to town on my car. So I could only watch. I didn't think.
No, I want you to tell me what you saw. She took the knife.
She took the knife and she wrote, "You can have him," on the side of my car first, and then she like swiveled around the back of it on the back of the hood, and then went to the front of it. On the front of it, swiveled all around, and... Can
I see pictures of the car?
Yes, I do have pictures of the car.
I'd like to see it. Did you call the police?
Yes, I did.
You have a report?
I wasn't able to obtain the police report
But
because
you
it
called
was
them.
a different city than where I live. But I did call them and report a vandalism to my car.
When you called the car?
I did. I said it was his kid's mother. That's all I said, really. I didn't say who it was because I don't know her. I didn't know
Well, you could have
her
found
name.
out her name from asking him.
Yeah, he didn't want to give up any information.
All right, Dwayne. Let's sit up here. I don't want you next to either of these two ladies. Let's sit up here. May 20th, you're watching the Warriors game. This young lady is bringing over your 3.5-year-old daughter. Who else was home?
It was my other 3 daughters, my son, a couple other friends. I was watching the Warriors playoff game, and I was serving tacos for everybody. And
Great. Well, the menu isn't really important to me. Miss Tucker's car was vandalized.
Yes.
And after Miss Sykes left, I assume that there was some screaming in the house.
Yes.
That's natural. You get older, you sort of can anticipate what would happen if You saw somebody making your car look like a modern painting. Did you call Miss Sykes?
Yes. Actually,
What?
Miss Sykes called me.
Miss Sykes called you and said what?
Look what I've done to your girl's car.
And what did you say to her?
I said, oh my God.
So she called you?
Yes.
And that was just about a year?
Yes.
Have you had any discussions with Miss Sykes about the vandalism of Miss Tucker's car?
Probably for about a month, we discussed it pretty much.
So for about a month after the incident, you spoke to each other about the incident?
Yes.
What was the nature of the discussions?
Her coming by the house, acting crazy, causing problems.
Okay. You can sit down. Okay, I'll hear your story. 1, 2, 3. 30 seconds or less.
I came to Mr. Robinson's house. I dropped my daughter off because he said he was having a family day and he wanted her to be there. I had just came from Memorial and I dropped her off. I had my other children in the car and I left.
Yeah, okay, good. Can I have an estimate for the damage, please? Stupid. You know why I say to you it's stupid? Because you just told me that your children were in the car. They must have been older children.
Yes, they were.
So these older children who were waiting in the car for their mother after they saw their little sister being dropped off, saw their mother committing a crime. What kind of stupid is that?
I drove off once I dropped my daughter off. We left.
Okay, I don't believe that. For 1 second, I don't believe it. Did you have the car fixed?
No, I haven't had it fixed.
So
I've
you're
been driving it just like that.
Just like that?
Yes, ma'am.
4,500. You could sit there. Sykes versus Robinson. It's your claim, Miss Sykes, that Mr. Robinson damaged your apartment building, your apartment, and damaged your car. And that was on May 23rd.
Yes.
Go.
I spent the night at his house.
When?
On May 23rd, I spent the night at his house.
Now, so let me understand this. After May 20th, on May 23rd, you spent the night at his house. Had your daughter been at his house until May 23rd?
No.
So you picked her up when?
She goes to daycare, so I picked her up from daycare. He took her to daycare on May 20th, the next day.
So she slept at his house?
Yes, she did.
And what were you doing at his house on May 23rd? What were you doing at his house on May?
We were just spending the night together.
So, what happened?
Okay, I was sleeping, and he seen text messages on my phone from someone else texting me. He woke me up. He got very upset. We started arguing. So then I left. My daughter was there. I went back to my house. He kept calling me, threatening me, telling me he was gonna flatten my tires and he's gonna come after me. I had to go to work the next morning. So I went home and I parked my car around the corner just in case he did come to my house. He'd probably think, okay, she's not home. Parked my car around the corner. About 4 o'clock, about 4:30, he started look outside and my tires, he's flattening my tires. I see him doing it.
Hold on. You didn't say you saw him doing it in your complaint.
I have a
Miss
police
Sykes.
report.
I'm just telling you, in your complaint, you didn't say you saw it. You said, I awoke to more texts at 4 o'clock in the morning from Dwayne. He said he planned to slash my tires. When I rushed outside to stop him, I found all 4 tires flattened. Okay, now I'd like to see the police report.
The apartment where I live in, you can see my car parked, and I seen him. And here are the pictures, and I also have a video.
Shh, 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 shh. I'd like to see everything, one at a time. Were you arrested, Mr. Robinson? Were you arrested?
Yes. Not at that time.
Were you arrested for vandalizing her car?
No.
What were you arrested for?
For having a beer, I was on probation. I wasn't allowed to drink.
No, I'm not interested in that. Did you speak to the police that night on May 23rd, Mr. Robinson?
No.
Have you spoken to them about this incident since?
No.
Did you ever find out why the police didn't follow up with this?
I just called 2 months later, and they said there was no report filed. I filed a report, but there was nothing done. They never sent me anything in the mail. That's why I'm here today.
You have pictures of the car?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to
I have
take a look
pictures.
And a picture of the car and the garage door.
House at 8 o'clock at night.
Mr. Robinson, I don't understand something. Maybe you're going to explain it to me. You got lots of girlfriends, and you have lots of children with lots of different ladies. Why would you get annoyed if some other guy is texting your girlfriend? Don't make anything up. I'm a very smart lady. There's no question that that's what happened that night on the 23rd, that she was at your house. So this is just human being to human being. You flit around like a bee. And why would you be annoyed if one of your girlfriends was flitting?
I did not get upset. Whoever was texting her in the middle of the night, they started arguing, and she got up and left at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Just a second. So what you're telling me is you're lying in bed with the plaintiff.
Yes.
And she is getting texts from another guy.
Yes.
And you're telling me that that's not bothering you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
Is what you want this face to believe, that it didn't bother you that you were lying in bed next to her and she was communicating with another guy?
Basically.
Not basically.
cases, real people. Judge Judy.
In a separate case, Nia Sykes claims ex-fiancé Dwayne Robinson spray painted her garage door and car, as well as slashed her tires.
I want you to answer my question. So is what you want this face to believe, that it didn't bother you that you were lying in bed next to her and she was communicating with another guy?
No, it wasn't like that. What happened was, basically...
Not basically.
No, well, what happened was I did get upset. No problem about that. I was upset about that.
Just a second.
I was...
Good. So you were upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, then we're going to go back to my question. You go from flower to flower pollinating.
Okay.
Why would it upset you if she's communicating with another guy? Isn't that fair play?
Well, I wasn't really... It was the time of night, and...
So it would have been okay if it was during the day?
No, it wasn't. It was at the time of the night, and what ended up happening was Nia has more than me as a friend. I'm not the only friend that she has. I'm not the only man in her life. So at this time, her and the guy began arguing inside my house. I'm like, well, you need to take that outside or go somewhere else with it. So she gets up, gets in her car, and she leaves. The next day, she calls me.
Talking to?
Kalu. I was asleep.
Just a second. Who is he?
He's just a friend of mine.
He was a friend of yours that you were arguing with.
I was not arguing with him.
Tell
I was
me
sleeping.
Do you have the texts? Everybody keeps those things. I'd like to see the texts. May 23rd, a year ago.
He was
Don't tell me
texting
it's a
me. I never
different phone.
texted him. He was texting me. That's how Dwayne found the text message
That's
in my
okay.
phone.
I want to see them. Girls don't dispose of those things. They keep them forever.
Yes.
True.
I just have a screenshot of the messages he sent to me. They were really explicit. I did delete them. I have a screenshot of the messages he was sending to me.
I'd like to see them.
From Dwayne. Dwayne sent these to my phone.
No. Dwayne sent them to your phone on May 23rd.
Yes.
After you left.
Yes.
Oh, I'd like to see those.
Daddy, you nervous? You shaking?
Dwayne.
The middle messages from him. He took a picture.
Just a second. What do you want me to see that he said to you?
He sent me the messages from the guy in my phone after I left my house. He sent me all the messages that the guy sent me.
So?
Before he came to my house.
Well, I don't know if he came to your house.
When he seen the messages and woke me up out of my sleep.
Oh, just a second. Did he say to you, I'm going to slash the tires on you? I'm just looking. I would like to see the messages from Kalu. They're about the same time as those.
Messages, I deleted them because they were very explicit. But I'm telling you, Dwayne's
What kind of explicit?
I want to see you. I want to get a hotel. I want to spend a night with you. That's what caused Dwayne to go enraged, because he's seen those messages
Dwayne,
on my phone.
this doesn't sound like they were fighting. This sounds like he was looking for something else other than a taco.
Tacos were on Sunday.
I know. But he was looking for more, and this comes from you to her. I don't see any fighting here.
That was just a screenshot.
I don't see any fighting here.
Okay, I took a screenshot.
I don't see any fighting here. Can I see an estimate for your car, please?
Yeah.
And for the garage door?
This is for my car has to get repainted because he spray painted all over my car. This is a receipt for the tires, and I had to hire a painting company to repaint the building that I lived in with our daughter. And I have the video of him driving around the building.
You mean the video on the 23rd?
Yes, on May 23rd.
On the 23rd of May of last year?
Yes, him driving around the building. He's my witness. He was.
Oh, I'd like to see that.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
The victim was advised that she had the option of making a police report admitting that what she said in the original report was false. No confirmation was received that the victim had...
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Nia Sykes says ex-fiancé Dwayne Robinson vandalized her garage door and her car.
Now,
My witness was there with me that seen Dwayne driving around the building.
I would really like to see it.
Here you are. You just press play on it. You just press play. He's coming by my house still. Hey, what are you doing? And if you scroll to the left or right, you can see pictures of him around my neighborhood.
Is what you're showing me his car? What kind of car does he have?
He had a Mercedes wagon at the time.
A wagon?
Yes. If you
White?
Scroll, no, it was silver. If you scroll, you
silver.
can see him in the car, and I have pictures of him in the same car. Hey, what are you doing? He drove around the building at 9 o'clock at night.
Anything else you want to tell me?
Judge, I have 2 sworn statements here. I have 2 sworn statements from her to the police department and to my probation officer,
I'd like to see them.
and a text message from her.
I'd like to see it. Oh. This says that you were contacted by the police, Miss Sykes, on the 18th of June for a follow-up conversation. She stated that it was not the defendant who vandalized her property after all. She stated that she was having issues with multiple people at the time, and she doesn't believe that the defendant was the culprit. When asked about the statement she made regarding her witnessing defendants slashing her tires, she stated it was dark outside and it was probably not him. When asked about the allegations that the defendant threatened to kill her, she stated that those were not true and it was a mistake in the incident report. The victim was advised that she had the option of making a police report admitting that what she said in the original report was false. At the time of this writing, no confirmation was received that the victim had done so.
He was threatening me at the time.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay.
He was threatening me. He kept telling me he's going to spend time in jail. Can you please tell them this wasn't me? Can you please tell them this wasn't me? But in my initial police report, I told it was him. I seen him do it, and I have pictures.
Won't be able to make false allegations I made against him were not true. Dwayne Robinson is not the one who vandalized my car or my apartment building. I do not want to file a civil restraining order against him because I do not feel in danger or fear for my safety. When it comes to him, I feel very bad that this is even happening. I was just so upset and tried to put the blame on him because he made me mad about other issues between us. At this point, I would like to clear his name because he's not the one who did this. Case is dismissed. We're done. Thank you very much.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Well, he knows he's guilty. He knows he did that to my car.
I feel very vindicated.
He vandalized my apartment building, and he put my car tires on flat.
No, actually, she lied completely about the whole situation.
He told me that he was going to get sent to jail, and I didn't want to see the child of my father go to jail.
That was a lie.
But he's the one who told me to say it. He told me to say it to his probation officer.
She had called me somewhere like, someone sprayed my building, did my car. I'm like, I don't know, it wasn't me.
I just want to leave the drama alone, and he could be a father to our daughter.
I keep living my best life.
I can finally get my car fixed.
I didn't do it.
It was her. I saw her do it.
Not at all. I do not know her. I've never seen her before.
She hopped in her car and sped off. She had her kids. Her other kids were with her.
Apparently, everybody's dating Dwayne.
Oh, you can have him.
Dwayne has
To be peaceful with one another. They don't need to carry on any further.
From kids he can't afford
Since you've been disabled, you've had 4 children.
Yes.
to a home he refuses to pay for.
That rental was $1,643, of which you paid $2. Then what did it change to?
106.
Did you pay each month your portion of the rent?
No.
You are a man who's clearly learned how to game the system.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Sheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Robert Brown is suing his former landlord, Linda Leong, for poor living conditions, retaliation, harassment, and the return of his security deposit.
Order. All rise. This Case number 73 on the calendar in the matter of Brown versus Leong.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Mr. Brown, you were a tenant of Miss Leong in her house.
Yes, ma'am.
From when to when?
Late March of 2018 to late May of 2019. Co-parent and caregiver, Iola.
Just a sec. Co-parent and caregiver.
Yes.
What does that mean?
We have children together, and she's my caregiver because I'm disabled.
Okay, so let me go through this. Your co-parent, who is your mate.
No, we are not in a relationship right now, currently.
How many children do you have together?
3.
How old are they?
3, 2, and 1.
And other than being your caregiver, does your co-parent, does she work outside of the home?
No, ma'am.
How much is she paid by the state to be your caregiver?
Around 300.
300 or what? A year, a month, a day, an hour?
300 a month, ma'am.
And how long have you been disabled?
Since 2002.
What did you do before that?
I was a factory worker.
Other than these 3 children, do you have any other children?
Yes, ma'am, I have 3 other ones.
How old are they?
24, 20, and 11.
So since you've been disabled, you've had 4 children.
Yes.
And how much do you get on disability a month?
$9.15.
Other than the $9.15 a month and the $300 a month that is paid to your co-parent and caregiver, is there any other income that flows into your home?
The mother receives money from the state for the children.
She receives welfare from the state for the children. In what amount?
I say roughly 800.
800 for the 3 children or 800 each for the children?
For the 3 children altogether.
So according to what you've told me, since I assume you do not pay any child support for the 11-year-old since you're disabled, is $2,015 a month. Does that sound right?
Around that, yes, ma'am.
And the house that you were renting from Miss Leong, according to what I've read in the papers, the rental was $1,643 per month.
Yes, Your Honor.
Of which you paid $2.
No, ma'am.
How much did you pay?
It started off as $2.
When did it start off as $2?
It started off at $2 at the beginning of the tenancy.
At the beginning in March?
Yes.
And when did it change?
It changed in August.
So March, April, May, June, July, and August, you paid a total of $10 in rent for yourself, your caregiver and co-parent and partner, $10 towards rent.
Yes.
I'm getting all the facts together. Then I'm going to get on to what you're looking for.
Yes.
Just so I set the stage to what you're looking for.
Yes.
Now, in August, how did it change, and what did you have to pay in rent?
It changed because Iola's income changed, and her income reflects on my rental portion.
I thought Iola's income was only taking care of you.
The Section 8 counts the money that she receives from welfare also.
So you're not talking about any of this as earned income. So it's the money from the state for either welfare or partner, not your wife, because that would be silly for her to be your wife, wouldn't it? All this money would evaporate. Then what did it change to, Mr. Brown?
It changed to $106.
So you had to pay $106 a month.
Yes, ma'am.
August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, and May. 10 months.
So they sent the notice in July, but it started in August, the 106.
September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April.
No, because it changed again.
Oh. It changed to 106 in August.
Yes, ma'am.
And then it changed again to what?
113, and this notice was in January, so then that would be, the change would happen in February.
And then it remained that?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you pay each month your portion of the rent?
No.
You didn't?
No, I did not.
Starting when did you stop paying your portion of the rent?
That was in August.
When you got the first increase to 106?
Yes.
Prior to that, had you been paying your $2?
There was a running joke that I was going to give her a money order for $10, and then I did pay it, and then that was ripped up in my face, the receipt.
So the answer is you were not paying, even when it was $2, your portion of the rent when you first moved in. Just that's a yes or a no. You were not paying
Yes.
your $2. That's a yes.
Yes.
Or August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, and May for a period of 10 months. Let me finish my sentence. For a period of 10 months, you either did or did not pay your portion of the rent. I'm not talking about the $2 now. I'm talking about...
Right.
Is that correct?
No, ma'am.
When did you pay?
I was forced to pay by Section 8. I believe that was in March. I paid the arrears of what I owed, which was $842 altogether.
April and May, did you pay?
I tried to pay in April, and it was refused.
I'd like to see that. that you tried to pay. Did he try to pay you in April?
In April, he was kicked out of Section 8, so he owed the entire rent. He didn't pay it.
Okay, I got it. So what he tried to pay you in April was $113.
Correct. And I could not accept that.
Just a second. Mr. Brown, coming back to you for a moment, sir. Did you attempt to make a payment to her of $113 in April?
Yes, Your Honor.
Was your Section 8 housing terminated in April?
It was terminated.
Yeah. Mr. Brown, what you're asking for is a return of security deposit from her.
Amongst other things.
The other things I don't care about. You have to understand something. You're asking for a lot of other things, and you are a man who's clearly learned how to game the system. I know that. I've been in family court, sir, and this place for almost various forms, shapes, etc. I know about caregivers, I know about partners, I know about co-parents, but not partner. I know all co-parents, not partners, who made children who were 3, 2, and 1. I know all about you, Mr. Brown. All I want to know is where you got the $1,500 from for the deposit. That's the first thing I want to know. Where did you get it from?
$800 was from my former landlord, from her security deposit that I received back.
And how long did you live there?
I lived there a year.
A year?
14 months.
From when to when?
From October of 2016.
Oh, so after you went on disability. You were on disability after you had left your job, and you were living with this co-parent, Iola, and you only had one child at that time when you came here? Or did you have no child?
Yes,
you had one child. That's
well,
a yes.
With Iola, yes.
Was she then still your co-parent and caregiver? Or did she become your co-parent and caregiver when you moved here?
She became my co-parent when I moved here, yes.
Mr. Brown, I refuse to be a co-conspirator with you, sir. When was the last time you earned $1,500? So far, Miss Leung, I know, is out at least 2 months' rent because you were kicked out of Section 8 housing. You offered to pay her your $113 on a $113, and you didn't move. And then you stayed there another month. So far, she's out 2 months' rent. And in addition to that, you want me to direct her to give you back $1,500 that you didn't earn, that Bird gave you. Goodbye, Mr. Brown. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I've been living under this nightmare for 15 months.
Well, I was on Section 8, and...
It's as if a hammer was hammering on my head for all that time.
The reason I didn't pay is because the premises had mice, roaches, and mold. And in the state of California...
And suddenly the hammer stopped.
If a premises has any of those, then the landlord is not entitled to rent.
He's done it before. He's a professional at this.
She was instrumental in me losing my Section 8 voucher.
He scammed the federal government, the state government, and the local county government.
No, definitely not a squatter.
His job is to scam the system, and he has.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Bevan versus Roberts Wright. Step forward.
Shopping center owners Rachel and Timothy Bevan are suing their former tenant, 23-year-old Kaylee Roberts Wright, for breaking their lease.
Mr. and Mrs. Bevan, you built a little shopping center.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this the first time you built something like this?
Yes, ma'am.
Where was it?
It's in a suburb of Fort Worth.
Complete. We started construction last July.
So it's not yet finished?
No. 4 of the 5 units are finished.
On the inside.
Mm-hmm.
On the inside.
Yes.
Do you have a photograph of it?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to take a look at it. So the outside shell is complete on the whole thing, but one interior store is not finished. Okay. Now, you rented one of the stores.
Yes, ma'am.
For what kind of business?
It's a clothing store.
Is this your first clothing store?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are you?
23.
Good for you. What had you done before?
I was a secretary for my grandfather's business.
Anybody help you set this up?
No.
Did it yourself?
Yes.
What was the rent on the space that you rented from the plaintiffs?
It was $1,000 a month.
For how many square feet?
800.
Okay, now, this is your complaint. Your complaint is that Ms. Wright left, broke her lease, and you're suing her for $5,000. She says that she did, in fact, leave, but you actually constructively broke the lease by not providing sufficient heat, which made it uninhabitable by her, her customers, her son, who I assume she brings to work with her, was how old?
A year old.
And she gave you notice that the heat was insufficient. You failed to rectify it, and that thereby it was a constructive eviction or loss of revenue, although I'm not so sure you can prove that.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
It's clear to me that you wrote this in afterwards because you gave her a copy and it's not there.
Correct. We did not date it, unfortunately, on the date of the lease.
Well, then you shouldn't give this to me. You gave it to me and you said that we signed it on the official lease date, which was misleading.
I'm sorry.
Good.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Rachel and Timothy Bevan claim former tenant Kaylee Roberts-Wright broke their lease. Kaylee says she had no heat and is countersuing for loss of income.
Okay, can I see a copy of the lease? Thank you. This doesn't have a commence date.
It does on the signature page, we wrote the commencement date, and then it's near the end, about 4 or 5 pages back. We signed the lease previous to the construction being complete, and we did not start the commencement date until the CO was issued by the city.
Official start date, January 7th, 2019.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you signed that?
I did sign it, but I didn't have a commencement date on my copy.
I'd like to see your copy. Well, you signed the lease on 1/7.
I signed the... Sorry.
I'm just saying, when you signed it, you did... Well, it's clear to me that you wrote this in, one or both of you wrote this in afterwards. The 2 dates and lease official start date is 1/7 on yours because you gave her a copy and it's not there.
Correct. We did not date it, unfortunately, on the date of the lease.
Well, then you shouldn't give this to me if you say this is the lease. And you gave it to me and you said that we signed it on the official lease date, which was misleading. I'm just letting you know it's misleading.
I'm sorry.
Good. Now, you moved in on what date?
January 7th.
So that was the de facto start date.
Yes, ma'am.
When was the first time that you gave them notice that the heat was defective?
Right before I moved in, I had let them know that there was an issue with the heater.
I'd like to see it.
Yes, ma'am.
This is before the move-in date.
Yes, ma'am.
This is December?
Yes, ma'am.
I could bring in a space heater up there.
Excuse me, Judge?
Okay, so before you moved in, there was clearly a problem with the heating system. That was in December. After you moved in on January 7th, show me when the next time was that you complained to the Bevans about the heat. And by the way, Ms. Wright, when did you move out? Well, I have a text on February 2nd that says my heater is blowing just cold air again, which suggests that she had told you about this before.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
In February, at the beginning, she was not leaving it on. That was the issue on February 2nd.
I don't know that. You're not a heat expert, so you can't tell me that. On March 11th, the indoor temperature was 63 degrees, and there was clearly something wrong with the system, so I don't know what this email of March 5th was.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Rachel and Timothy Bevan claim former tenant Kaylee Roberts-Wright broke their lease. Kaylee says she had no heat and is countersuing for loss of income.
Well, I have a text on February 2nd that says my heater is blowing just cold air again, which suggests that she had told you about this before.
Yes, ma'am.
And you say, okay, we'll get it fixed on Monday. And then on February 16th, she said, I'm not sure what's going on with my heater. It just seems to go in and out. It worked yesterday, but today I can't even get the fan to blow. I've had it on for over 30 minutes, and it's still checked within the next hour. If it still doesn't work, we have a space heater for you to use until we can fix it on Monday. Well, that's what you said on February 2nd. Now we're talking about February 16th.
The space heater, didn't you say that was in December? Was the last statement?
February.
February 2nd.
February 2nd and then February 16th. So that's so far twice in February. And then again on Tuesday, February 19th, she says, hey, Rachel, were you all able to have someone come out on Monday to check my heater? I was up there last night and it was doing the same thing as Saturday. That's 3 times in February. Then she wrote in March, did someone come in to check my heater? You wrote back, they were supposed to, but never got a text confirmation. That was in March. So we have so far at least 3 times in February by text, and then we start in March. Okay. Then you answer, Tim says that your unit is off this morning. Your place will not stay comfortable or heat up well, especially when it's so cold out. If you turn your unit off at night, you must keep it on at all times. And she answers you the same day. She said, I've tried leaving it on like he told me to do, but it did not work. The unit is the issue, not me turning it off. You say, okay, I'll be out there. Sounds to me that this heating unit was a problem in December and it never got fixed.
I present those?
No.
Okay. In February, at the beginning, she was not leaving it on. That was the issue on February 2nd.
I don't know that. You're not a heat expert, so you can't tell me that. All I know is I have 3 instances in February and 2 in March where she says the heating system is not working again. It's blowing cold. You say, well, come. The repairman was supposed to be there. I didn't get a text confirmation.
I have, following that, where I did not receive any confirmation text from them, I said he is on his way. I then have receipts showing he was on his way and replaced the entire unit.
Okay, can I see it?
There's that.
Yes.
And the date that he replaced the entire unit.
So here's an email stating that it was fixed. This is written slightly after. However, I have confirmation from Kaylee also stating that her heating unit was fixed on the day before the invoice is written.
On March 11th, the date of this invoice, the indoor temperature was 63 degrees, and there was clearly something wrong with the system. So I don't know what this email of March 5th was.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
On March 11th, the date of this invoice, the indoor temperature was 63 degrees, and there was clearly something wrong with the system. So January, February, and up through March 11th, there was a problem with the heating. That's clear, based upon what you just gave me, that it was broken.
Yes. That's why he completely...
Well, then she had a right to move out.
He completely replaced the unit. We have video showing on days she was closed because of heating, it was 69 degrees inside the unit.
I don't care. Okay. She has the right to move out. If she doesn't have heat for 2 months, she has the right to move out. And she didn't have heat for 2 months. You just showed me she didn't have heat for 2 months. She complained about it. She had the right to move out. Now, you have a counterclaim. Your counterclaim is for lost revenue.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you intend to prove that?
I didn't have anything with me to prove it.
Well,
I had to move my stuff into another location.
that's not lost revenue.
I had to sell it at a discounted price, below wholesale.
You may have had to do that anyway, but you had the right to move out because you gave them ample notice that the heating wasn't working for over a 2-month period. So that's, to me, a constructive eviction. Your case is dismissed. We're finished. Thank you.
Parties are excused and they step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
We gave her discounted monthly rent just out of good nature. It was never asked for.
I was trying to work it out with my lawyer to make it sure that I wasn't going to get into any legal trouble.
We gave her a space heater to use. Again, the temperature never read below 68 degrees in the winter, and we felt like that was adequate.
The heater not worked. It was 59 degrees. I have pictures of it.
Within 3 weeks of her being in the unit, she was already asking to be released from it to sublet it to someone else. She just wasn't ready. Me
trying to close shop was my son was going to be admitted to the hospital to have a feeding tube, and I wasn't going to be able to be there to run the business.
Our contract is the same. We haven't had issues with any of our other 4 tenants, and it's an unfortunate event.
Read your lease, have a lawyer check your lease. Just don't let them run over you.
One of your children ran into some financial difficulty.
Exes agreed to help clean up their son's mess.
You and your son had a falling out, and you changed your mind about paying.
Right.
Now Dad gets nothing but dirty looks.
I was not notified.
Yeah, well, I don't believe that. There's no question you knew that they had had a major blow-up. Don't look at him.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Sheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Janet King is suing her ex-husband, Paul King, for breaching their agreement to help their son pay his rent.
Order. All rise. It's case number 4 on the calendar in the matter of King versus King.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Ms. King, you and Mr. King have been divorced, according to what I read, for over 20 years.
Yes.
And you have grown children.
Yes.
One of your children ran into some financial difficulty.
Yes.
I gather that's not an unusual occurrence for this particular child.
He got hurt at work and was on disability, and yeah.
And is he married?
He is.
And his wife is pregnant?
She is.
They were unable to pay their rent.
Exactly.
And some bills. So you contacted, according to what I read, you contacted your ex-husband.
Ryan contacted my mom and asked my mom for help.
Okay, this is your son?
Yes.
That's your mother?
Yes.
So, to speed things up, he asked your mom for help, your mom called you?
Called Paul.
Called his father?
His dad, yeah.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
So your former mother-in-law called you and said, what's your son's name?
Ryan.
Ryan is in some difficulty.
Yes.
On what date was that? Do you remember, Mr. King?
It's close to these text messages. I believe it was like maybe Thursday, the 11th of April.
Do you remember what date it was that you called?
My daughter just reminded me it was the 12th.
Friday.
How come a mother-in-law called you?
Well, she originally suggested splitting it 4 ways between my mom and me and Janet and her.
How much was your son looking for?
His rent, I think, is $1,700. I think half of it was $877, according to Janet's record. So.
Okay, so your former mother-in-law wanted you to come up with $877, either between you and your mother. She was going to kick in some money with her daughter, I assume, and that was on the 12th.
Correct.
And what did you tell her?
I kind of reluctantly agreed.
Did you agree on the 12th, is my question.
I did.
And then what happened, Mr. King?
Following that, I can't remember exactly how this transpired, but there was a text string that started.
Do you have that?
Yes.
I'd like to take a look at it, because this is what it is alleged. It is alleged that based upon your agreement to pay the $877, your former wife paid the whole amount of rent, and then it is alleged that you and your son had a falling out and you changed your mind about paying.
Right.
So the whole issue is whether or not your former wife, Mrs. King, paid your son's rent before or after you advised her that you changed your mind. Because when she acts on that agreement, then you're bound.
Correct.
But if she had not acted on that agreement and paid the money, and if you notify her before that you've changed your mind, she had an opportunity to back out and say, I'm just going to give you $877. Do you understand?
Yes.
Great.
Sorry for some of the language in there.
No. I'm not looking for the emails. You had an argument with your son on the same date, Friday, April 12th, that's what this says, at 5:45 in the p.m. is when the email chain started with your son.
There should be a text message in there to Janet saying, you guys are on your own, I'm not going to pay into it.
Okay. Well, was this to Janet?
Yes.
And this says, you and your mom. How do I know this was to Janet? It says, you and your mom will have to figure out what you're going to do or not do for Ryan.
Does it show?
Oh, you and your mom.
Right.
I got you and your, this is to Janet.
Right.
You and your mom.
Right.
Are going to have to figure out what you're going to do or not do for Ryan. I'm not doing any more, I'm out. So this was at 6:44 in the p.m. on Friday, April 12th.
Correct.
Okay. Now, Miss King, the date and time that you transferred the money from you and your mother to your son, the date and the time you transfer the money between you, your mother, and your son. And if you don't have that, you have no case.
The money from the bank?
Yes.
Well,
unless what you're telling me is that you transferred the money to your son.
No, I didn't.
After or before you received your former husband's text.
I never received a text saying that he was out. Never once, because I was blocked. As soon as this all happened, he blocked my phone, he blocked Ryan's phone, and he blocked my mom's phone.
Not before. He sent this. Listen to me.
I don't have that because it didn't go through. Ryan paid it on with my debit card on a app, renter's app.
Just show
I don't
everybody.
Have that.
Just a second.
Okay.
What you're going to have to do is everybody keeps records, everybody, of the date and the time of a transfer, including apps.
I have. There it is, and if she could just slide like that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bert, I'm not touching it. Do you understand that? Well,
It has the date, but it does not show the time.
could you scroll over there?
That's the second page.
Oh, the check was returned to you.
It was, I'm sorry.
Just a second. It was returned for insufficient funds with a check charge of $25? Is that correct?
It is.
Okay. And that was done on April the 18th?
Yes.
Don't move with that thing. So now the check was returned on April 18th, and your son did not get the money on the 18th.
True.
Is that correct?
Correct.
And the money was resent somehow.
Correct.
But you had already been notified on the 12th that your former husband, yes, you were.
I was not notified.
Yeah, well, I don't believe that. Let's start out with that. You were notified. Either he has a text, but you were either notified by your son, by your mother. Between the 12th and the 18th, there isn't a question in my mind that you were notified that your former husband was not, don't look at him, was not going to contribute towards this rent. There's no question in my mind about this. You were in discussion with your son because your son must have called you and said to you, your check bounced, then you had to have some sort of a discussion with him, which was, I had a big fight with my father. He blocked me from his phone. All right, well, that would be a ding-a-ling. Then you would have to say.
But that didn't happen. Ryan did not have a conversation with his dad. I mean, his dad blocked me and blocked him and blocked my mother's phone.
That would have...
He never sent me that text,
Mrs. King,
and he never
Mrs.
told
King,
me.
Miss King.
Paul, you're going to tell her that you blocked me and you did not get that
just a
text?
second.
He's lying. Is it funny?
There is no question in my mind that he blocked you, he blocked your son, and he blocked your mother. There's no question in your mind that that happened. There's also no question in your mind that you knew by the 18th, when your check was returned for insufficient funds, that your former husband, you knew by the 18th, when you reissued the check, if you ever did your mother reissue a check?
Yes, ma'am.
On what date?
The 18th.
There's no question between the 12th and the 18th, you knew that they had had a major blow-up. Is that a fair statement?
Correct.
That's a fair statement.
Correct.
Don't speak to him. Listen, don't speak to him. Did your father ever co-sign for a car for you?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
I don't know the exact date. It
Give
was
me a
probably
year.
2 years ago.
Give me a year.
2 years ago.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
34 years old, and you needed your father to co-sign for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. And when he co-signed for you, that meant that you were going to pay for the car.
Correct.
He was just co-signing because you had bad credit.
Correct.
Did you end up paying for the car?
He paid.
Just a second. That's either a yes or a no.
I made payments on the car, correct.
No. Did you pay for the car?
I made payments for the car.
Who else made payments for the car?
He made a large payment.
And how much was a large payment?
Without my knowledge, he made this payment. I don't know what the total of the payment was. I don't know what the total of the payment was.
Well, you had to have owed a lot of money.
It was
just a second.
Okay.
Let's play.
Yep.
Not yup. That's a yes.
Yes, ma'am.
You had to have owed a lot of money on the car for your father to have made a large payment. And if what you're telling me is I don't know how much it is, then you're more irresponsible than your mother thinks you are.
Okay.
You got it?
Yes, ma'am.
You're 34 years old.
Yeah.
You have a child on the way?
Yes, ma'am.
You have any more children?
No.
Just one?
Yes, ma'am.
On the way. So you're responsible enough to have a child. Then you should be responsible enough to know how much your father paid off on a car.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He just did it because you would be without a car, and he would be without credit.
The car was not in risk of being taken away.
Well, then he just made you a gift? Is that what you're telling me?
That's the way it seemed to me.
Well, then he's a really nice guy.
And later today,
I yanked the little dog out of its mouth, and she kind of fell back down, and he decided to eat her up some more. And so I finally yanked her up, and she flew into my arms.
Miss Urell, it's not what you say in your complaint.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Janet King says ex-husband Paul King reached their agreement to help their son pay his rent during a time of need.
Now, how much was a large payment? How much?
$7,000.
So your father paid off $7,000, and he paid off $7,000 in about what year?
2018.
Is that because you asked him?
No.
He just did it because you would be without a car, and he would be without credit.
The car was not in risk of being taken away.
Well, then he just made you a gift? Is that what you're telling me?
That's the way it seemed to me, yes, ma'am.
Well, then he's a really nice guy.
I would not argue that.
Just a second, that he's a really nice guy.
Not
he paid
arguing.
off $7,000 to his 33-year-old son of a car guy.
Not arguing that.
Great. I'm glad you're not arguing that. Now you can sit down. Just want to let you know I'm not sympathetic. Your case is dismissed. We're done. So's your counterclaim. That's silly.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I hope everybody's happy.
He did not send me a text message saying he was not going to pay.
Just got to evaluate things as they come along.
He's a liar, and I have nothing to say to him.
I love him. I only wish the best for him.
I will not ever go and ask him anything in the future.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Urell versus Davis. Step forward.
Marlene Urell is suing William Davis for vet bills and punitive damages after his unleashed dog attacked her Pomeranian.
Ms. Urell, I don't know exactly what you're suing for. It's your claim that the defendant's dog bit your dog. You took the dog to the vet. The vet said your dog required certain treatment. You didn't have the money for the treatment. There was some sort of an arrangement reached with the vet that if you surrendered the dog would be treated as a rescue, which is how you got the dog, as a rescue, and that they would do the surgery. Before I even get to the substantive part of who initiated this biting, I'd like to see what you paid and proof that you paid it.
May I approach? Sure.
No, give it to Bird.
Thank you.
What was the date of this alleged incident with the defendant's dog?
It was February 9th, 2019, at about 4:40 p.m.
Okay. So the first time you took the dog to the vet was 2 days later?
Yes.
This says that on the 11th, the dog was euthanized.
I took the dog to the veterinarian.
No, I'm just reading you what it says.
Yes.
And they charged $125 for that. And then it says refund, Visa or MasterCard.
Yes.
Explain that to me.
The veterinarian, I took her into the veterinarian after she had survived the dog attack, but she was not walking. I took her to the veterinarian, and they said...
Don't tell me what they said.
Okay.
Just tell me what this is. Was the dog euthanized or not?
No, the dog was not euthanized.
Then this was reversed, so you didn't pay this.
Correct. I was refunded $125.
I only want you to tell me what you paid to the vet.
There was $88 body disposal fee, which I was not refunded, but I was refunded the $125 because I couldn't So I paid $88 for an urgent care and $3 for body disposal, but I was refunded $125 euthanasia.
I want you to show me from your Visa bill how much you actually paid the vet. I asked you, how much did you pay the vet? You sent me up these two bills. That's not true. You didn't pay the vet this money because it was refunded.
There should be 2 pages there.
I have 2 pages.
Okay.
You gave me both pages of money that you say you paid.
So the first...
And the first one you didn't pay because the dog wasn't euthanized.
I did pay it, but they refunded it to me. That's why it says
All I want to know is, from you, how much you paid the vet.
I paid the vet $91.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
February 9th, I took Spitzy outside. We were in a common area of my complex, sitting on a bench, not standing outside, not looking at the rain. You and your dog were, according to you, was sitting on a bench.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Marlene Urell says William Davis's unleashed dog attacked and mauled her Pomeranian.
February 9th, 2019, which was a Saturday, it had finally stopped raining where I live, and so my dog wanted to go for a walk. And she looked out the window and did her dance, just took her out for a walk.
Just tell me.
Okay.
Your dog wanted to go out for a walk. You had gotten the dog a year before as a rescue, correct?
Correct.
And you took the dog out, and?
And we stood in front of my place about 6 feet from the stairs, and she was about 5 feet in front of me. When we were just standing there, you know, she didn't want to walk. She just wanted to enjoy, no rain, and I did too, and we were just standing there. And all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I saw a flash of yellow scrabbling and crawling at the floor, and the next thing I knew, I didn't even see what happened. There was this dog, a yellow lab mix, and it was eating my little dog. And my little dog turned up and looked at me, and her little face was turned down so horribly. And I didn't even know what to do. I didn't even know what was going on in this place where there is never anyone about or anything. And I was all completely alone until then. And I started to scream and scream and scream. And I guess the dog just kind of looked at me, and then I yanked the little dog out of it. I had to eat her up some more, so he was chewing her belly. And so I finally yanked her up, and she flew into my arms.
Okay,
and
it's not what you say, Miss Urell. It's not what you say in your complaint. The story that you just told me is not what you swore to in your complaint. I'm just telling you that.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, February 9th, I took Spitzy outside. We were in a common area of my complex, sitting on a bench. That's the first paragraph of what you told me. Not standing outside, not looking around, not looking at the rain. You and your dog were, according to you, sitting outside in a common area. You were sitting on a bench.
You know what? Sometimes I would sit there, you know, with the dog, but I kind of thank God that I was not sitting there that day.
You want to tell me your version of what happened, Mr. Davis?
Yes, Your Honor. There is no bench in that common area, for the record. So what happened was her dog and she were there in the common area. I was around the corner playing with my dog. Her dog was barking, so my dog runs around the corner. I recall her, she didn't come back. So
I want you, don't speak.
So I ran after my dog and come around to her dog biting my dog and my dog retaliating. And basically it's an 80-pound lab and a 10-pound Pomeranian. Didn't go. That's what happened.
Yeah, you have to pay a vet bill.
Yes, I will gladly pay her vet bill.
Which she paid $91 for. Yep. You have to pay, not $5,000, which is what she wants, but you have to pay her vet bill.
Yes.
Did you offer to pay her vet bill?
On numerous occasions.
And what did she say when you offered to pay her vet bill?
She said I owe her more than the $91 I owe her for her adoption fees and her vaccination costs.
$91. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you very much.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I'm still amazed that people can lie in court and get away with it.
She has a history of suing people in our complex. This is what she does.
She would do bear dances. She would stand up and dance.
She didn't take the dog to the vet till almost 2 or 3 days later.
She would say things like, go out, love you.
Thankfully, the rescue adopted the dog, paid for the surgery, and somebody else owns it now.
You were renting one of your rooms to the plaintiff.
He intimidated me so much I did not feel safe.
She fled for her safety.
I moved out before I was able to do exactly everything that he wanted.
You, on the other hand, are still there.
Now she's looking for some security.
You kept her security deposit. You did not turn it over to your landlord. You kept it. There's a pattern here that I'm not liking.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Sheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Lisa Savelnis is suing her ex-roommate, Jeremy Kaufman, her ex-boyfriend, Nathan Peterson, and Nathan's mother, Joyce Peterson, for her deposit, rent, property, and negligence.
Order. All rise. It's case number 25 on the calendar in the matter of Savelnis versus Kaufman-Peterson. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Who are the Petersons? This is your son. You own the house.
It's a 5-unit apartment.
Do you own the whole thing?
Yes.
So you own the house?
Yes.
Your son manages the 5-unit house. Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, you're Jeremy.
Yes.
You rent a room there.
It's a 2-bedroom.
apartment complex.
And you were renting one of your rooms to the plaintiff.
Yes.
And you were renting a room to her in your apartment where you paid how much rent?
At this moment, $19.25.
Well, at this moment, did it change yesterday?
Yes. Changed, I want to say maybe 2 months ago, Your Honor, while the plaintiff was living there.
How much?
$5, I think.
Okay. Now, before the plaintiff rented a room from you, had you had other roommates?
Yes.
When was the last time you had a roommate other than the plaintiff?
It would probably have to be a week before she moved in.
And what was the name of that roommate?
He had a weird name, Your Honor. I do not.
How long did he live there?
2 months. Orrin was his, I apologize, Your Honor, his name was Orrin.
How long have you lived in the apartment?
5 years.
Prior to Orrin, who lived there?
I had another roommate for 3 months named Justin.
Prior to Justin, what was the name of your roommate? I'm going to check with them.
Yeah.
What was the name of your roommate?
Prior to Justin was my, at that time, girlfriend, Casey. We lived there for 4 years before she moved out.
So let me understand this. After your girlfriend left you in the apartment, you had 3 roommates, one for 3 months, one for 2 months, and how long did the plaintiff live there?
7 months.
Did you collect security deposit from Orrin? That's a yes or a no?
Yes, I did.
Did you return his security deposit, yes or no?
No.
Did you collect security deposit from Justin?
Yes.
Did you return the security deposit to Justin?
Yes.
What's Justin's last name?
Can I go in my phone and look?
Yes.
Okay. Do you happen to know Justin's last name when I fill out the paper? I apologize. I do not know his last name.
You do not have it?
It's been a while.
Did you ever see a lease with Justin?
No.
Did you ever get any security deposit from Justin?
Never.
Did you?
No.
Now we're understanding how this game works. Did you ever get any security deposit from Orrin?
No.
Did you?
No.
Did you ever get any security deposit from the plaintiff?
No.
Did you?
No.
There's a pattern here that I'm not liking, because that's what the case is about. The case is about the return of the plaintiff's security deposit that she paid you when she moved in. How much did you pay him in security deposit?
Altogether, $1,100.
And you never received any money from her?
No.
Perfect. And you never received any money from her?
No. I just wanted to say that I've no
I don't want you to say anything. I want you to answer my question.
I'm not part owner.
Just a second. You never got any security deposit from her?
Correct.
That's all. Who filed this counterclaim for invasion of privacy because she videoed the property? Raise your hand.
I would...
Yep, that would be you. Miss Peterson, the case against you is dismissed. You can sit down. Mr. Peterson, the case against you is... You, on the other hand, are still there. You kept her security deposit, of which Mrs. Peterson nor her son ever saw a penny. By the way, you're still living there, is that correct?
Correct.
So what I want you to show me are repairs, because I assume you had to put down security when you moved into the apartment.
Correct.
So what I want you to do is show me the damage that the plaintiff caused in the apartment and your receipts for fixing it. Do not show me any damage for which you do not have receipts.
Here's some screen work.
Don't speak, just do.
Okay. Your Honor, does cleaning stuff, due to the fact things were so dirty, do those count as receipts?
No.
Okay.
You understand, Mrs. Peterson, I've dismissed the case against you. I want you to understand what he's doing. Do you understand what he's doing?
Yes.
Okay, here's...
What he's doing is unconscionable in your property. I wouldn't...
Well, there was a reason for it, Judge.
Just don't give me a reason. I want receipts.
I'm going through them. Hardware, the doors.
Now, on what date did you move out?
I moved out on the 3rd of April.
Of this year?
Yes.
And the ceiling. Bear with me, Your Honor,
I'm bearing with you. When you come to court, you're supposed to be prepared. You kept her security deposit, and you kept her security deposit. You did not turn it over to your landlord. You kept it, and if you kept it, that means you have to show me receipts after April 3rd, 2019, that you did to repair the premises for damage that you allege that the plaintiff caused. And I want it, and I want it now.
I'm coming with it, Your Honor. My nephew just murdered in a mass shooting, so I'm trying to keep my depression and my anxiety low. If you can give me some time, please. It's just one more picture. Here, you could take these for now and run with these.
This is not for now. This is forever.
Okay. Oh, here it is. Sweet. Ceiling fan. Yeah, I think so. One more, Your Honor. Sorry. The ceiling fan I had to replace. I got pictures of...
Hey, pay attention. The plaintiff moved out on April 3rd. On the 28th of April, you bought an upright vacuum cleaner.
I'm not charging for the vacuum cleaner.
Well, then what are you giving me?
Well, what receipt do you have?
Get me...
There's probably the ceiling fan is on there, Your Honor. I
Just
apologize.
a second.
I thought I highlighted
A rear trigger
it.
nozzle, fast-setting concrete, a classic wood picket fence.
Is the ceiling fan on there? Can I look at it?
Give me the whole mess back, Bird.
It's right here, white ceiling fan.
Why did you need a ceiling fan?
Because she ruined the other one.
How did she ruin the other one? You said she didn't clean it.
Yep, well, I got a picture showing what it looked like before she moved in, and then what she left it at.
What's next? Next. I need to see other pictures of damage that you allege she caused. Don't give me a mess of papers. And a receipt to fix it.
So here's the receipts. Here's the fleas she caused with the receipt that I had to get.
Just a second. Let's do one at a time.
Okay.
Ceiling fan, clean. Let's do one at a time. I can deal with him one at a time.
What would you like, Your Honor, the ceiling fan?
No. Let me see the next damage you are alleging. Fleas in Lisa's room. Inspection report en route. Now, you had an animal?
I did. I had a cat.
Did you have an animal?
I have a bird.
His girlfriend spends the night there with her dog that runs 9 miles a day with her.
Your Honor.
It's not a halo.
Just a second. Did the pest control, exterminators, did you pay them? It's $75. Is that what you pay them?
Yes.
That's deducted from the $1,100. Okay, what's next?
Screens.
Pictures?
It's on here.
And bill.
Here's some more screens, too.
Did you break the screen in your room?
The screen was originally broken by his prior roomie.
That's false, Your Honor.
Just put your hands down and don't speak. When you moved in there, was the screen broken or not?
It was broken.
Did you do further damage to the screen?
Yes, but not as much as he's extending.
Well, I don't think that you broke that screen.
I have different pictures, Your Honor.
May I see?
Sure.
May I speak to when you get a chance, Your Honor?
Is this a picture of the room when you moved out or in?
That's when I moved out before I was able to do exactly everything that he wanted, but he intimidated me so much I did not feel safe.
That is false,
He would not
Your
let
Honor.
me come in to return anything.
Understand me, sir. So far from the $1,100, I'm deducting $75. Do you understand?
Yes.
He wouldn't let me return anything he tries to charge me for. He should return anything.
Just a second. Do those two prints belong to you?
I did.
Just a second.
Yes.
You want them back?
Yes.
Would you give them to him, Bird? So far, I'm allocating $45 for the screens.
Okay.
75 and 45. What's next?
What about the mold inspection report we had to get in and pay for, Your Honor?
I have a video of the mold, Your Honor.
You owe her $980 from her security deposit. Now, you have a counterclaim. Your counterclaim is that she videoed the inside of the house?
Correct.
Great. So you have no counterclaim. $980. Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you.
Parties are excused. May step out.
We have an actual legit mold report showing that she created the mold itself.
Yeah, there's a mold infestation. I had proof that it had been on the property.
She lived in the bedroom, never opened the windows, created the mold problem.
I'm really happy that she saw through some people's games.
She's a disgusting person, and learn from the lesson is never rent to a 45-year-old single lady with a cat.
And thank you so much, Judge Judy.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Harris versus Washington. Step forward.
Danielle Harris is suing her former friend, William Washington, for damage to a third party's vehicle, her car.
Mr. Washington, how long have you known Miss Harris?
Since I was young.
So for a very long time?
Yes.
And you were driving her car on what date?
Around May.
In May of last year?
Yes.
And tell me why you were driving her car.
Because she needed her car fixed, and it had a blown head gasket. So she didn't know what was wrong with it. I have found out what was wrong with it.
Just a second.
Oh, okay.
Her car blew a gasket.
Mm-hmm.
How did you find out that her car blew a gasket?
It had antifreeze leaking inside the oil where it mixed and it turns into like a milky color.
Now, did she ask you to find out what was wrong with the car?
Yes.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
This is why I don't believe a word of what you're telling me. You don't necessarily have to have collision insurance, but you're mandated, if you have insurance, to have liability insurance. So you want to waste my time and go show me that this car was a covered car under Allstate?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Danielle Harris says, former friend William Washington owes for damaging a third party's vehicle while he was driving her car.
Now, did she ask you to find out what was wrong with the friends or dating? What were you?
Say dating.
You were dating?
Yes.
And so you drove the car frequently?
Yes.
How frequently? Did you ever drive when you went out for dinner, when you went out to a movie, when you went to a friend's house? She always drove?
No, the car wasn't drivable. She had another car, and she needed to fix.
So this car wasn't drivable?
Mm-mm.
What kind of car was it?
2005 Pontiac Aztek.
And she had another car?
Yes.
That was drivable?
Yes.
And did you have your own apartment, or did you sometimes stay with Miss Harris?
No.
No is what?
No, I didn't stay with Danielle Harris. We wasn't together then.
Okay. So she just asked you to find out what was wrong with her car. So you were driving it?
Yes.
Now, were you driving it to a mechanic, or were you just driving it around?
Driving it around to see what was the problem.
Now, when you were driving it around, did you pick it up from her house?
No, I had it towed because the battery was dead when I went to go get it. So I had to get it towed.
So where did you get it towed to?
To my friend's house in front of her house.
So you had it towed from Miss Harris's house to your friend's house?
Yes. Yes.
And do you remember what date that was?
March, because it was sitting.
So in March, you took the car from Miss Harris to work on?
Yes.
And you worked. When did you get it running?
I'm saying about the middle of May, because that's when I told her it's fixed.
So in mid-May, you called her? Did you see her in March?
No.
Did you see her in April?
No.
But in mid-May, you called her and said the car is fixed?
Yes.
Okay, you remember that phone call?
No.
Well, he towed the car, he says, in March. Is that accurate?
No.
When did he tow the car?
He's telling a lie. He had this car in his possession probably in late 2017. The car was being sold to him. He wasn't driving it trying to fix it for me. The car was being sold to him. I had it posted on Craigslist. I have evidence.
So the car was being sold, and he was going to buy the car from you?
Yes.
But he had not yet bought the car from you. You had not changed title. Is that correct? Is that correct?
No, it's not correct.
So you had given him title to the car?
No, he didn't have the title to the car.
So he didn't have title to the car, so he couldn't register it?
Yes, he couldn't register it.
Just a second.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He drives the car, he gets into an accident, and the other car sues you for almost $5,000. If you allow somebody to drive your car, it should be insured.
Okay, but I didn't allow him to drive the car. He was driving under not my permission.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Danielle Harris says, former friend William Washington owes for damaging a third party's vehicle while he was driving her car.
Now, if he couldn't register the car because he didn't have the title, the sale of the car was not complete.
Correct.
So you owned the car.
Right.
Did you have the car registered?
Yes, the car was registered.
Good. And I'd like to know the name of your insurance carrier.
Allstate.
Well, if you had Allstate insurance, then you had to have had liability insurance. And therefore, if you had liability insurance, because this is what this case is about, this is why I don't believe a word of what you're telling me, Miss Harris. If the car was registered and it had insurance, and if Mr. Washington was driving the car and he had an accident when he was driving the car, and he damaged a third party, now, you don't necessarily have to have collision insurance when you have insurance, but you're mandated, if you have insurance, to have liability insurance. So you want to waste my time and go show me that this car on the date of the accident was a covered car under Allstate?
The car wasn't covered in insurance. The car was mine technically in my name, but I was selling him in payments. I didn't put payments.
Miss Harris, you're not getting any money. If you allow somebody else to drive your car and it's uninsured, they have an accident, that's your responsibility. That's not his responsibility. That's your responsibility. You want to have no responsibility? Sell him the car. You were selling him the car, according to you, for $600. Then you have no responsibility. Now, he drives the car, he gets into an accident, and the other car sues you for almost $5,000. If you allow somebody to drive your car in your name, it should be insured.
Okay, but I didn't allow him to drive the car. He was driving under not my permission, and I have evidence for that, too.
Sorry.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, your name, your car, insurance. If you have no insurance, I don't hear your case. Do you understand?
The insurance got taken off because I was selling it. It was several people that asked to actually buy the car within that day. He begged me to take it off of Craigslist for him to get it out, like, to do payments, and we agreed to do payments.
Then keep it insured.
I didn't know.
You were selling the car. You had not sold the car. As long as you had not sold the car, you have to keep it insured. And if he gets into an accident, it's your responsibility. If he didn't just damage another car, but if he hurt somebody, it would still be your responsibility. And his, but yours too. Do you understand? You can't come to court when you own a car that you don't insure and have either a good story, a not so good story, so that you want somebody else to pay for something that you could have avoided if you had insurance. Now, you drove another car, didn't you?
Yes, that was my car.
Just a second, and so you had insurance.
I took it off in 2017 when I was selling it.
We're done. Thank you very much. Your case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I don't feel like I should be responsible for his crash.
The brakes went out, and
basically he just said a whole lie out there for one.
I didn't know it was out.
Like, he's driving the car. He wasn't supposed to drive the car.
Went into a